Bum, bum, ba-da-da, bum, bum. All right, we get a happy Bendy. We get
very happy.
There we go. We got
Laser.
Hey, welcome
Lasers
to the
are
Monday
for winners.
edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and a new feature on a Monday. It's Jeff Spiegel. Jeff, thanks for waking up on a Monday with us, man. How are you?
I am well. Shout out to my guy Matt Moreno for switching days with me because I inadvertently committed to the wrong day. And really, we all know the reason I'm here. Michael Conforto's batting average starts with a 2, and I couldn't miss the very next show after that. I wanted to make sure the one day it starts with the 2 that I was on the show. It's going back to 1 something, but today we're here.
I love that you say the one day that it starts with the 2. We'll see how long that lasts. But hey,
I'm gonna say
over 200.
We have no idea how long this is going to be the case, but for now, Michael Conforto has a 200 batting average, so that is to be celebrated, as is a series win over the San Francisco Giants, a big series starting tonight in Los Angeles with the Philadelphia Phillies coming into town, so we'll get to all of that, maybe even a little bit more. Might even have some Angels talk. Stick around for that. But first, I want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. Hopefully early next year, the People Mover train is up and running. But either way, just trying to make your travel journey better. All that. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right, Greg. 2 out of 3. That was what we said over the last week on Friday, that we felt like they've got to get 2 out of 3 in San Francisco. Friday was frustrating. Saturday and Sunday, though, pretty good.
Saturday and Sunday was phenomenal, and I just feel so bad for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I mean, what more can he do? He just consistently goes 7 innings, strikes out 10 guys, and leaves it right there, but no run support whatsoever. And then the next night they put up, what was it, 13? And then they put up 10 yesterday. He just can't catch a break whatsoever. All of the runs get scored on days that he doesn't pitch. Even Glasnow got run support yesterday. So yeah, but overall is exactly what we wanted. I was very much in the camp of, I need to see them win 203 before I can start to believe that this team is back to what they're supposed to be. And they got the 203, and they got the 203 in convincing fashion. And it was all through the starting pitching. Kershaw had a rough first inning on Saturday, but through starting pitching, getting big hits, consistently moving guys around, and with the bases loaded, after they I think when they got it was on Saturday, the bases loaded, nobody out, and they didn't get any runs. I put in the group chat, they're like, oh, they're just allergic, just like we always say about that. They went on a tear with the bases loaded after that. So I'm very, very happy about where this team is at right now, and I think I'm ready to say the corner has been turned.
Ooh, all right. That's a proclamation here right there. To your point about Yamamoto, you sent us this too from Bill Shaken. Yoshinobu Yamamoto's last 3 starts: 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 10 strikeouts. 8 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. We all remember how that one ended. And then 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. So 30 strikeouts and just 3 walks over his last 3 starts. 3 no decisions.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But Jeff, as Greg mentioned, offensively, this team showed not just signs of life, but just sort of came roaring back a little bit. I know there's a lot of talk about hitters meetings and changing approaches. I know for somebody like you who watches this and sort of keeps track of a lot of the analytics and this sort of thing, are you ready to proclaim that they've turned a corner?
Yeah, everybody here knows that I'm probably the quickest to proclaim they've turned a corner. I needed 1 game and I was back in. But there's 2 things that I think we can't discount. The first is, regardless of what you think about the Giants, this is a team that had won 13 out of 17 coming into this series and 14 out of 18 prior to these last 2. So this is a team that's been playing, honestly, as well as anybody in the league. And they did it against Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, who are both good pitchers. So I know it's the Rockies and you write all of that stuff off like this doesn't count. But this was against one of the better teams in the league of late and against 2 very good pitchers. And I think the key that is going to make a ton of people happy, and I didn't realize this until I was reading Fabian Ardaya's piece in The Athletic, they didn't hit any home runs. They scored 10 runs last night with no home runs. And so they're doing it with the approach. They're doing it with taking pitches, forcing starters out in the first 5 innings, getting to bullpens. And, I don't want to say playing small ball because the Dodgers are not playing small ball, but they're able to produce without being overly reliant on the home run ball.
Not only, Parker, are they not reliant on the home run ball, yesterday they really didn't get anything from Shohei. I mean, he had one hit. He was 1 for 6. That hit came in the 9th inning when the game was pretty much decided. I mean, I think a big positive from this weekend was contributions up and down the lineup. Miguel Rojas, Michael Conforto, Andy Pages. I mean, Parker, the offense or the lineup looks like it's long again, which is something we haven't been able to say in a couple of months.
Yeah, it sure has been long. Listen, Miguel Rojas, we gotta give him credit where the credit is due. Thank you. He's really been absolutely holding things down as the injuries were there, and now that the offense is like pretty much at its full power, with the exception of a couple, he's still continuing to do so, and I'm loving that. As you get towards the playoffs, it's good to see a savvy vet really holding things down. But yeah, the offense, when you have Greg, you went down this whole, tangent of the runners in scoring position, the bases loaded situations that the Dodgers have. When they go 15 for 37 with runners in scoring position, I think it was
going to win a lot of games.
You're going to win a lot of games. And of course, 4 or 6 of those came with the bases loaded, or there were 4 for 6 with bases loaded. So it's there, it's in there, and we've seen it happen. I know that we've been nitpicking all season long, chat. But we got guys going on, and I'm seeing in the chat, I want to have this conversation actually right now, because Ward Vet.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because I saw a lot of it too, and I wanted to get to this.
It's got to happen. So let's have this convo. Is he potentially going to make the playoff roster?
I mean, no. If he does, that means somebody's hurt and it isn't going to be available. I mean, Will Smith is on IL. They're hoping that they were able to backdate it, and so he can come back in a decent amount of time. I haven't really heard much about Dalton Rushing, so I'm not sure exactly where he is in his recovery just yet. So, no, Rortved's not going to. But I'm going to say this, and I sort of sent it in the chat, but I was having this conversation with my dad last night. At this moment, give me Rortvedt over Rushing, because offensively, he's giving you just about everything, maybe even a little bit more than you were getting from Dalton Rushing. And Greg, I think he's a better defensive catcher, at least right now, than what we see. He's a better receiver. He damn near called multiple no-hitters, right? He blocks balls in the dirt. I mean, at this point in time, Ben Rortvedt is outplaying Dalton Rushing.
Yeah, I think that there is something to be said about Rortvedt making the playoff roster over Dalton Rushing too. The fact is that, yes, for all those things that you're talking about, he also walks a ton. He walked, I think, 3 times yesterday to get to Shohei. Shohei didn't do anything with it, but he still walked 3 times to get to Shohei. He is blocking balls, and it's a little bit up and down for me on whether or not he is the reason that these pitchers are pitching so well. I think he's
probably not, but
probably not. I mean, there's been multiple times Glasnow was consistently shaking him off. He had to jump in, and I think, what was that, against Snell? So Snell was 100% calling his own pitches. I think Yamamoto typically calls his own pitches anyway. So there's a lot of things that are going on there that I don't know if it's fully on Rortvedt. He just happens to be back there at the time and calling a good game. You can't take it away from him. But I think his plate discipline is better than Dalton Rushing. And if you're going to have a guy that can get a couple of big hits, just a seeing eye single, a double up the gap, and helps move guys around and then walks a bunch, I think I want that guy over the still rookie Dalton Rushing, who is struggling, has way more power. He's going to hit home runs and can really help with his bat a lot more. But I mean, maybe it's just small sample size theater, and I'm just getting excited for what I've seen from Rortvedt. But I think just for right now, Rortvedt is the guy for me over Rushing as the backup. I mean, are you there too, Jeff?
Jeff, many people are saying that Ben Rortvedt is the new Austin Barnes. Your thoughts?
Well,
I was going to make an Austin Barnes comparison.
We might mean very different things when we say that. This is my latest unpopular take, is that I'm not in on Ben Rortvedt, and I walked through this a little bit on social media, but basically when a guy like this pops in 31 plate appearances, I always say, okay, what were my expectations? And if things are different than what I expected, do I have a reasonable explanation for why that is? A reasonable explanation for believing something has changed. And with him, this is a guy who's been in 4 organizations in 5 years. He was literally DFA'd 3 months ago, went completely unclaimed, and then was sent back to the Rays AAA team. So, like, the track record on this guy, his career slash line is like, 199 batting average and 500 plate appearances prior to this year. So the track record is not great. He comes over, I believe it's 31 plate appearances since he's come over to the Dodgers. So the question is, like, is the change we've seen real? He's hitting 300 with a 400 on base percentage. Like, and for me, the answer is I'm very, very skeptical. I don't think we've had enough time for the Dodgers to change anything offensively with this guy to believe that the offense is real. There's some batted ball luck. There's not a lot of power. Yes, he has 3 walks. 2 of them came yesterday. Prior to yesterday, he had 1 walk and 28 plate appearances or whatever it is. And so I just still believe if I need a hit in the postseason, I don't like my chances if it comes down to rushing or Rortvedt.
Nope.
If I need one of those guys to pinch hit, it's still rushing, and it's pretty clearly rushing to me. Now, the question is Will Smith going to be healthy? Because if Will Smith's healthy, then he plays every day, and I want rushing as my backup catcher, because the only reason I need a backup catcher is for pinch hitting opportunities. If Will Smith is hurt, then I think it's a little more difficult. But I do think one other piece that Greg kind of hinted at here, everyone's talking about Rortvedt's game calling. Like, it's on the record that Yamamoto typically does not call his pitches, but when Rortvedt was catching, he was calling at least half of his pitches during the 8 2/3. Snell, like, there was no game plan with Snell. He was named the starting catcher 3 minutes before that game started. And so I do think the game calling thing is fairly overblown in a small sample size with Ben.
Yeah. That's fair. By the way, let it be noted that of the 4 of us, Jeff was the one that's the most negative about Ben Rortvedt. So it can't happen.
Does it matter that it's lefty versus righty, that you have a left-handed bat off the bench versus the right-handed bat off the bench? Rushing is the better hitter. 100% he's the better hitter.
And by the way, defensively too, rushing is a much better catcher when it comes to controlling the running game, and he's a much worse defender when it comes to keeping the ball in front of him. He's pretty of late. So to me, it doesn't matter. To answer your question, Greg, like, again, I think we're talking about a D+ and an F- as far as offensive comparisons go, and there is a difference between those two things, but not enough for me to be like, what side of the plate are we hitting from?
Yeah,
I didn't even know you can get an F-.
There it is.
Fails.
Back to the start of the conversation. Like, I really don't think Ben Rortvedt's going to be on the playoff roster again. If he is, that means something along the way went sideways. Dalton Rushing didn't recover. Fingers crossed. Something happens with Will Smith or something. That bone bruise just doesn't heal up. But I don't see a situation where he's on the playoff roster. By the way, shout out to Justin checking in from France.
Hey, thanks, Justin.
We moaned about having to get up early, just in our homes and offices. We got somebody checking in from the other side of the world, so shout out to that.
Yeah. Quickly on rushing, I liked the Oklahoma City Comets tweet yesterday. I think I saw it said, "We know Dalton is rushing to get back to the big leagues, but we appreciate him spending time with us." I think he got driven in by Freeland. But it was a fun tweet.
Very good. Do we? Yeah. Okay, all right. So now we're. Anything else from this weekend? Do we look ahead to the Phillies? Do we want to talk about the Angels maybe setting a major league record for strikeouts?
Not the Angel portion. We can either. Just one last thing about what we saw over the weekend. I think this kind of shows why I feel really good about this team and why it's been like that for a while. The starting pitching is just phenomenal. Every time they go, Yamamoto, Snell, and Glasnow and Ohtani. Ohtani's going to pitch on Tuesday. We got Sheehan tonight. They have been. Kershaw is kind of having a little bit of trouble right now, Jeff. Your boy is, and everybody's boy, but he is having a little bit of trouble. But the starting pitching is just so good, and if they're going to run through these playoffs, the starting pitching has to be good. And I think we finally are in a position where we look at it like they can carry a team every single night because of how deep they can go into games too. Snell can't really get into the 6th inning, but the other guys, 7 innings, we can see that Glasnow, Yamamoto, and Snell. Yeah, no, he can't go into 7. He can't. But Glasnow and Yamamoto can easily go 7 over and over again. I think Sheehan, if he's on that play,
Sheehan, if
go
he
in
gets
7.
the opportunity.
And I wonder if Shohei can go, if they'll let him go 6 when it gets to the postseason. But I love this starting pitching, and I think I'm so glad that they're finally on track and in the right space. One of the best, actually the best in baseball since mid-August?
Yeah. This has been the reason that I've been as optimistic as I have been, even through the offensive swoon, is because I was like, look, if you can get this group, and realistically, it's like if you could get 4 of the 6 guys across the finish line into October, then I'm going to feel great about this team. I know they did it. They won the World Series without basically any starting pitching last year outside of Yamamoto and some Jack Flaherty mixed in. But if they get this group, then it just becomes like I need either the bullpen or the offense to be good. And if I can get one of those 2 things in addition to the starting pitching, I feel great about. And again, it's been a small sample size, but the offense, individual guys on the offensive side of things seem to be figuring some things out. And so if Muncy is back, if Teoscar is hitting, and if the lineup down at the bottom, you find a couple guys that you even feel remotely okay about, it's going to be a tough team to look across the diamond and see for anybody else.
By the way, this is just my plea to opposing teams for the remainder of the year. Please stop throwing inside on Max Muncy.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Please stop hitting him with pitches. Like, that's all we're asking. Like,
are there more guards that he can get for arms and chest and ribs? Like, I mean, how much plastic can we get on?
Just what is happening here? Like, how does this keep happening to this man over and over again? Actually, since we were talking playoff rosters and we're talking pitching, Kirby Yates cannot be on a playoff roster.
Are you done with Tanner Scott, Marcus? Is Tanner Scott completely off too?
I mean, I think he should be. Like, I feel like he's the one, though, that no matter what happens, he's going to be on the playoff roster in some form or fashion. Like, I don't think he should be there, but I can't imagine a world where Dave Roberts, Andrew Friedman leave him off the playoff roster just because of the investment in him. But yeah, like he can't see a 9th inning ever again. At least not in 2025. Maybe we try again in 2026. But Tanner Scott cannot see a 9th inning. I guess take it back. If he has a 6-run lead, because he did that, on Saturday night, right? He had a 6-run lead, and he blew through the Giants, and it was all good. But the high leverage portion of the Tanner Scott experience is done.
I believe in Scott.
To do what?
I believe. Right. I
close the game.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a 1-run game. It's the bottom of the night. It's the bottom of the 9th. You're in. Let's say it's Yankee Stadium. Like, let's take the Yankee Stadium last year in Game 5, and we just transport that to this year. And instead of Walker Buehler coming out, it's Tanner Scott. Like, you feel good about that?
How we feel?
Okay. Well, that is just the likelihood of that happening. I believe that they'll still run out with whoever it may be, maybe a Shohei. There's gonna be some sort of.
That's the answer the question. Run their things, but same thing. Tanner Scott is the guy that you have there. You believe in him. Do you believe in him in that situation? That's a yes or no question.
You know what? Yeah, no, I'll still take it. I believe just in the stuff that I've seen throughout his career in terms of what he can do. I'll still take him.
Greg, I need to ask. Me holding on to the Conforto train and Parker holding on to the Tanner Scott train. I'm just curious where those two relate to one another in your mind, Greg.
Okay, we know where your Conforto train really is.
It's just to troll me. That's the only reason that you hold on to the Conforto train. But the Tanner Scott train that you're on, actually, if it happens, fantastic. But I am never, ever holding my breath on that one. That one's nuts. How do we feel about Michael Kopech?
The Kopech coaster? Not great. So it's funny. I talk to a friend of mine regularly. He's a Mets fan, and he has this thing where, like, you know, Edwin Diaz, like, he feels like Edwin Diaz, just because he's so good, gets bored and will walk the bases loaded, then just to go back and strike guys out because he's bored. I'm like, well, Michael Kopech will walk the bases loaded, but maybe he strikes out the next 3 guys, or more likely he just walks the next 3 guys. Like, that is sort of where I am with Kopech. I think he squeaks onto the playoff roster, but I don't love him in high leverage situations. Like, he's got to start with a clean inning. He's got to come in with nobody on base. But you also have to have somebody ready, you know, warming up behind him, because it can spiral out of control quickly.
Yeah, I mean, so let's do this really, really quickly. There's your trust tree, Jeff, because I don't think it's anything outside of Vezia, Banda, and maybe Dreyer that's on there, and Trinan.
Robo. Robo.
Yeah, Robo.
Yeah.
Like,
my trust tree, if we're talking if we're talking like top of the trust tree, 9th inning, 1-run game, I would say some of those guys are still not there. I love Robleski. Like, I've been in on him. But honestly, if it's like 9th inning, 1-run game, the only 3 guys that I would probably feel good about would be Dreyer, Vesia, and Trinan. Yep. I think Bonda's been good. Like, if we're going next level, I mean, I was actually, as we were doing this, writing out who I would have in my playoff bullpen, because I do think there's interesting conversations to be had. I have Bonda in. I have Brock Stewart, if he's healthy, in, which, like, it seems like he's trending in that direction. But then, like, Kopech's probably, to me, like, I think Kasperius has a case still. I think I'm the only guy that thinks that, but Enriquez is still up there.
Enriquez for sure.
I think Kyle Hurt's been a guy down at AAA that I'm curious to see if he gets a chance at some point, because I think he's really good. Robleski, Emmett Sheehan. Like, I still think Clayton Kershaw is going to be on this postseason roster one way or another. And so I just think there's going to be interesting conversations. The only guy I have crossed out, by the way, is Kirby Yates. He's the guy that and I'm like, please no with him. But I think the Ohtani rule is going to help them, of course, where they can take 13 pitchers and Ohtani doesn't count against it. So if you bring a 4-man rotation, which I think they will, that basically means Ohtani doesn't count. You get 10 more pitchers on top of that if you want. Now, do they bring 10 pitches? Is it 9 and they bring an extra hitter if they have to play in a shorter series? But I think there's going to be some surprising names on and off this list just because of how many guys are in contention.
So, Marcus, do you believe, is there a chance that there is no Kopech, no Yates, no Scott on this roster?
I think for sure I could see no Kopech and no Yates. I just really have a hard... The fact that Dave Roberts keeps giving Tanner Scott chances in high leverage situations. I think after Friday night, I think finally Dave is sort of like, maybe waving a white flag a little bit about Tanner Scott in high leverage situations. But I mean, I think we were all sort of past that point before Dave Roberts got there. I think that speaks to the fact that Tanner Scott is going to be on this roster because they believe that in order to win another World Series, he's got to be there and got to be performing. But Kopech and Yates, I think Yates for sure, I think has pitched his way off the playoff roster. And I think Kopech right now has kind of got one foot out the door. So,
yeah. I mean, like, I'm going up and down this list, and, like, again, I think Bonda, Dreyer, Trinan, Vesia. I'm with you. I think Tanner Scott's going to be on this group. That's 5. Brock Stewart, if he's healthy, is 6. Sheehan and Kershaw would be 8, in addition to the 4 starting pitchers. So that means you've got 2 spots left for Kopech, Robleski, Kasperius, Enriquez, and Kyle Hurt. I think those 5 guys and Kirby Yates would be the 6. I think it's those 6, and you've got to pick 2. Now, I don't know if Robleski is like a shoo-in for this roster as much as, like, I think he probably deserves it. But I think that, again, Kasperius, Enriquez, Hurt, Robleski, Yates, and Kopech for 2 spots is going to be interesting.
So I do believe that I think there is a chance. I know we got to go, but I do believe we can talk about this more tomorrow. Tanner Scott is being given opportunities over and over and over again to get himself out of it. If he doesn't, I don't know if he makes this roster. I don't know if they will be able to put him on if he cannot get outs, because that is not what's he's giving up home runs. He's giving up hard hit balls. He's getting smacked around. He gets a strikeout every once in a while, but if he continues to give you up hits throughout September, I don't know if he makes it.
Yeah, I know everybody made a big deal about the foul tip that didn't get called on Friday night.
It's true.
I would. It was true. You know what? If Patrick Bailey had won the game on a sac fly, I think I'd entertain that argument a little bit more instead of Bailey just barreling one up and smashing it halfway to the bay. Like, at that point, it's like it didn't matter what happened in the pitch before. You still gave up the home run. So anyway. Good one tonight out at Dodger Stadium. It's Emmett Sheehan going against Rangers Suarez. Big series starting with the Phillies. First pitch 7:10 tonight. Be back with you tomorrow. Jeff, appreciate you jumping in. I know you're doing some Lakers talk tonight.
Yeah, I'll be hosting our Lakers Nation show tonight at 9 p.m. So if you want to press pause on the Raiders Chargers game and head over there while during the end of the Dodgers game as well, I'll be doing that. And then I'm off tomorrow night. I'll be out of town, but I'll be back on Dodger Blue on Thursday night.
Fantastic. So be sure to check out Jeff and everybody over there at Dodger Blue. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys in the chat, especially people checking in from France. Vive la France. In the meantime, for Jeff Spiegel, For Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. This has been the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up next on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. We will see you here 6:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Go Raiders.
Blue Review.
Blue Review. Blue Review. Awesome.
All right.